I'll edit it. So whenever you're ready.
Go ahead.
We've done a lot of work getting this project ready. Agree?
I definitely agree.
What do you think was the most challenging part of putting this project together?
I think the most challenging on my side of it was just trying to anticipate the unknowns without having done something like this before. We thought it was a good idea, but we just don't know if we've covered every base that we need to cover to introduce the project. You know, I'm worried that we're going to find loopholes in our design that are going to make us wish we had put something different in the entry dock or thought of something ahead of time that we just haven't come up with yet. But with that said, I think we just got to push ahead and see what happens. You're trying something new. Sometimes that's the challenge of going into the unknown.
This is true. Kind of scary.
It is, in a good way.
Yeah. What do you think is the part you're most excited about for this project?
Probably watching the kids try to build the robot. I think that's going to be fun. Once they start to see it come together and actually hopefully move, I think they're going to start to really get a kick out of it. I think that we might find that some of the groups are going to take pride in their little robots. It's almost going to become like a pet to them, and that they're going to really start rooting for it to win the race at the end of the project.
Yeah, I agree. What do you feel was something today on the entry of the project that didn't go as planned? Or a question or a comment or something that we didn't really plan for that kind of popped up today?
Boy, that's a good question.
And maybe there wasn't anything.
Nothing that really surprised me. It was kind of unexpected that they would immediately ask about what the maze was shaped like. I thought that maybe their mind would be more focused on the robot at first than the actual maze for the challenge at the end. But at the same time, the certain students that did ask that, I guess, shouldn't have surprised me. They're the ones that are a little bit more forward-thinking anyways when it comes to technology. So they probably already have an idea. I think that I wasn't surprised by students who had experience with robots asking the questions they did about, well, can I use this, can I use that, when they know full well it's going to put them over the $10 limit. That, I think, was anticipated a bit, to change your question, of course. I think that that's going to be perhaps more of a challenge than they anticipate. And you know you're going to have those students who have never built a robot before, and the challenge for them is just building a robot. But then we have these students who have before, but they've gone well above a $10 limit. And I think that they're going to be the experts on robots, but they're going to struggle mightily with this project because they don't know how to simplify it to meet their budget.
True. We work in a very tech-based and kind of an out-there school. I guess we're the crazy ones, as you would like to say. Do you think this project could be used at a more traditional school, or do you think it would be accepted? Do you think it would be possible?
I do. The big issue is going to be, of course, money. We're fortunate enough where we were able to acquire parts ahead of time that we think they're going to need for the robot. We have a basic idea of a design that will work, that we know will work in that $10 limit, and so we were able to order some parts ahead of time to have them in store for the students when they realize they might need them. And I know that in some schools, even schools where I've been in the past, they might not have that luxury, or they might have to do fundraising to earn the money for those parts. Now, we didn't spend a lot of money on these parts because obviously we're trying to make robots for $10 or less, but still, budgets are tight or non-existent at all for some schools. So that's the biggest challenge, is maybe having the time ahead of time to set aside some money to buy the little pieces that you're going to need for these robots. We were fortunate we had some motors already ordered from a previous project, so that saved us a little bit of money. But then we realized we probably needed twice that amount. So we had to go ahead and order a few more of those. And and that was a couple bucks from our budget that we could afford, but I'm not sure a lot of schools could afford to go ahead and do that.
Right, and we have approximately 80 students, and I think our total bill was about $150 about for
Sure.
all of the parts that we planned. So that could be.
I think that if you had this part of your syllabus already for the year, it might be easier to swallow $150 for something like that. But if we were just to pitch this to other schools, which we have done, to try to see if we get other schools to collaborate with us, it's a little tough in the middle of the year to say, oh, here's a project we'd like to do, but it's $150, well, you may have already spent that $150.
Right.
So
If
it's
you
definitely-
know going in that it's coming, then you can plan for it a little better.
Right,
Where we've planned for it in the last couple of weeks.
yeah, exactly. If I can add my own here, what do you think is gonna happen with the students who don't think they possibly can build a robot? How do you think that's gonna go? Should I turn the camera around?
Sure. We can maybe stop it. Let's just start.